week 7, the theme is what appears to be a very simple theme. It's just called noticing sensations in the body. And it's a little bit of a loop back to the very first week, which I don't know if you remember, that had also had a very simple theme of just connecting to your breath and noticing the stretches and the movements that you were doing. So that was your introductory experience of noticing sensations in the body. But now 7 weeks on, and with all the practice in between, and you might not notice this because it's quite incremental, but your ability to tune into what you sense in your body has been going up on quite a steep curve on the graph, and you're refining that awareness. And what we find, what yoga does, is that the more we tune into the body, the more aware we become of what we feel at that physical level. It helps us on many other levels as well, emotionally and mentally. So for instance, if you're feeling really tired and you had a bad night's sleep and you have a heightened sense of that, I mean, everybody will sense that in some way, but you have a heightened sense of how you're feeling and how that's going to impact your day, then you can slightly more intelligently manage the challenges and know that you've got that shorter fuse today, or whatever it is. And when you have this heightened sense of awareness of what's going on in your own body, it also supports self-care. So you'll notice whether you need to take rest, or when you need to look after yourself. You notice around meal times a more refined understanding of hunger, and in between meals, whether that is something that you need to address with an unhealthy snack or a healthy snack. So self-care is promoted, and mental and emotional intelligence are supported. So all I'll be doing in this session this week is drawing your attention to some of the sensations you may or may not feel in your own body. So it's not my job to have your sensations, and the sensations will be different. So I'm just acting as a mirror and trying to reflect back things that you may feel. So we'll begin as usual with the breath, and we're still doing, this is the last week of doing inhale, long exhale, pause, using the ocean breath if you're finding that the ocean breath is working for you. Otherwise, just inhale through the nose, longer exhale through the nose, and breathing out to that moment of pause. So you can do this with your eyes open or closed. I'm going to use the breathing ball as a visual aid just for the first few breaths, but then feel free to close the eyes or take the eyes downcast. So we're just beginning to inhale and exhale, connecting to our basic breath, which usually feels a little bit more equal, even though the exhale, if we measure it, tends to be a little bit longer than the inhale. And we're focusing on our breath, and we're trying to make that inhale, which requires a little bit of effort of our breathing muscles, we're trying to make that as smooth and full as possible without strain. And when we do that, that enables us to just let the exhale go and meter the outflow of breath to make it a little bit longer and feel like we're breathing out to that moment of stillness before the next inhale comes in, and that long, smooth exhale to stillness. So keep that going for a couple more breaths. And as you're working with your inhale, exhale, pause, ocean breath, beginning to notice the sensations in the body and the way in which the breath is helping you to both notice the sensations because it's slow and steady and there's space there to self-observe, but also it's having an effect on those sensations. The long exhale, if you're noticing any tension in your body, you may notice it diminishing just a little bit during that long exhale. And if you were feeling that your shoulders were a little tight and hunched That inhale may be helping you just to connect to that sense of filling the chest, drawing the shoulders back, and exhaling, letting the shoulders sink down, but now in a better position than before. And noticing even very simple sensations of the touch of the feet on the floor or the yoga block, the touch of the hips on the chair, the palms of the hands on the thighs. And all of these sensations become heightened as we contain our awareness. The human brain is such a powerful machine for processing information that when we remove all the thoughts that normally clutter it up and just focus it on the body and what we're feeling, it's really a rich and deep sense of sensations which are normally on the margin and normally ignored. And then the next time you breathe in, opening the eyes and bringing the palms together, and just continuing with the same breath practice and breathing in, taking the arms wide, keeping the shoulders soft, and then long exhale and pause as the palms touch. So notice that sensation as the palms separate, and notice the sensations in the palms as the palms touch. Notice the sensations in the shoulders as you create this space for your shoulders to open. And notice perhaps that the shoulders are softening as you do this simple practice. And we'll make this one the last one. And then releasing the hands down just a little way away from the body, palms up. Breathing in ocean breath, letting the arms reflect the inhale. Turning the palm at the end of the inhale and long exhale down to the pause. Turn the palms, inhale. So new sensations now, asking the shoulders to do a little bit more. And if the shoulders are tense or you have any restriction of movement there, which could be muscular, it could be a joint condition like frozen shoulder, you're just going to work within your pain-free range of movement. And you only do that if you can really tune into what you feel in the shoulders as you do this practice. But ideally we want to feel the sensation of softening. This is the last one. And this time we'll exhale and let the arms hang, and we'll breathe in and we'll take the shoulders forward and up, and we'll breathe out and take the shoulders back and down. Inhale, ocean breath, and exhale, long ocean breath, and pause. There's nothing hurried about anything that we do, and I hope you're finding that in your practice, that if you've only got 5 minutes, it's better just to do 5 minutes of really mindful, slow breathing and a few simple practices rather than thinking you need to cram a lot in there, because that cramming just detracts from what it is we're trying to achieve. End of the next exhale, give the arms a little shake. Rest the left hand down, turn the right palm out, breathing in, reaching up. And breathing out, just a gentle side bend, long exhale, and see if you can sense that stretch, because there isn't a muscle here that runs all the way down the side. There are lots of different muscles that we're moving through the body's connecting tissue between muscles. So it's more of a stretch to the tissues of the body, this side stretch, in a particular muscle. But can you sense that lengthening? Can you feel that side of the body getting longer? Breathing in, coming up, and exhaling, releasing the arm down, and then turning the left palm up and breathing in, reaching up, and exhale, reaching over to the other side. And in exactly the same way, just feeling the stretch there. And then coming up and exhaling, releasing that arm down. And when the arm's down, just give the shoulders another little lift and roll. Give the arms a little shake. Bring the fingertips towards the top of the arms. And we'll do our shoulder circling. So we're going to get even more sensation now from the shoulders, because this really is a movement that uses every part of our shoulder mobility. Inhale, half a circle. Exhale, long ocean breath, and pause. And we'll just do 2 around in the opposite direction. And then release the arms. And I'm going to stretch out the back of the neck. So we're taking the chin forward and bringing the chin towards the top of the chest, but anywhere that takes the head forward, you'll feel the back of the neck lengthening. So notice what you feel there. Some people have a lot of tension in the back of the neck from constantly having it in what we would call a crunched position. And then we're going to bring the right hand up and just rest it on the back of the head, with the fingers curling around to the opposite ear. And without pulling the head, just resting that arm there, slightly deepening the stretch as you breathe out. And if you don't have neck problems and this feels okay, you can gently turn the head, rotate it, and look towards the opposite thigh. And then breathing in, turn the head back to center, lift the head, and then take the head forward again, bring the other arm up, rest the arm there, enjoy the sense of space in the back of the neck, notice all the sensations there, and if it's okay for you, slightly rotating the head to deepen that stretch and just involve another couple of neck muscles. Inhale, bring the head back to center, coming back up, and then bringing the palms to center and sitting nice and tall as you breathe in. Push down into the sit bones of the pelvis, really feel the connection and the sensation in the soles of the feet and the hips. And then breathing out, we're going to go clockwise to the right, and we're going to turn the head and the shoulders to begin with. And once you've turned as far as you can, release the hands down. Drop the shoulders, don't hold tension there. And each time you inhale, thinking about lengthening the spine. And each time you exhale, releasing a little deeper into the twist. And then on the next inhale, leaving the shoulders exactly where they are and turning the head to look back forwards or into the room. So the shoulders are going clockwise, the head is trying to go anti-clockwise. One more breath, inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, twisting in 2 directions. Notice the sensations in your back and notice where the twist is taking place. Breathing in, coming back to center, head and shoulders, palms together. Exhale, around to the other side. Turning head and shoulders. So your lower back doesn't really twist, so you might feel that, sense that, if you really focus in. So most of the twist is happening through the thoracic spine, that's from the top of the lower back to the base of the neck. That's what's enabling you to turn your shoulders. And then your head is the most mobile part of your spine. Let's turn the head back into the room now. But it works, they all work independently of each other and do different movements. So that would be a very heightened sense of what is going on in your body if you could really notice and feel those different movements of the spine in a twist. On an inhale, coming back to center, and then we finish the seated sequence with our little back bend, so arms resting back or holding the side of the chair, or even hands interlinking behind the back if you've got a lot of flexibility in your shoulders. Drawing the chest forward and up, drawing the shoulders back and down, but hardly doing anything in the neck, just a very gentle curve, maybe looking up towards the top of the ceiling, top of the wall, but not to the ceiling. In this position, notice a sensation of the lifted chest. There's quite a lot of stretch between each rib, and because the ribs are held in the lifted position, they're not able to move with the breath like they normally do. So even though this is a very open position and you can breathe quite deeply, the sensation is different. You're filling the breath into an already open vessel, whereas normally you open the space in the lungs and close it with the movement of your ribs. So noticing that. We're going to come down onto the mat now. So as usual, we'll begin by lying down with some kind of support, a pillow or a cushion under the head, and the knees are going to come in over the chest, and we're going to hold the outside of the shins or the thighs, and just pause here for a moment because we've got a new set of sensations now. We had the hips and the feet connected to the ground. Now we've got the whole of the back of the body and the back of the head. So notice what you feel in your back in particular. And if you're prone to discomfort or intermittent back problems there, you might just check in as to how your lower back in particular is feeling. And then begin to rock from side to side, rolling the head the opposite way to the knees, and allowing the gentle rocking motion and the firmness of the floor to ease out your spine and your lower back muscles. So noticing all the sensations in the back of the body, and then coming back to center and still holding on to the knees. Let the arms straighten so you've got space now to breathe into the abdomen and the chest. And as you breathe out, using the arms, let the elbows bend, and just gently, mindfully drawing the thighs in towards the chest. I'm just turning my head towards the microphone. You can keep your gaze up to the ceiling. Inhale, arms straighten. Exhale, knees coming in. So where are the sensations now? Probably not really feeling anything in the hips, which is the main joint doing the movement, but we should be feeling something in the lower back and the back of the pelvis. We feel that area being stretched and lengthened. We're creating more space for those lumbar discs, which are bearing most of the weight of the body when we're upright. On this next exhale, and I'm going to make this the last one, we're going to inhale to straight arms, and we're going to let the left leg come down. Now it can stay here, knee bent, or you can straighten the leg. And we're just going to do two more. Exhaling, drawing the thigh in. Inhale, lengthening the arms. Exhale, drawing the thigh in. Inhale, take the right foot down. Bring the left leg in. Make a decision about keeping this leg bent or straight, depending on what you're sensing in your body. And exhaling, drawing the thigh in. So what do you feel now? Do you sense a little bit more going on in the hips? You might feel a little bit going on in the top of this right thigh, particularly if your leg is moving like this as you draw the thigh in, which indicates a little bit of tightness through these muscles. But these muscles are long, it might just all be into that left hip. Inhale, take the left foot down and slide the left leg straight as well. And then breathing in, take the arms up into the air. Exhale, see if you can relax the shoulders down into the floor. Feel the shoulder blades pressing against the mat. Think about the shoulder blades moving down away from the ears. And then inhaling, taking the arms overhead, keeping the elbows, wrists and shoulders really soft. You might not get the back of the hands all the way to the floor. Wherever you get to is good. And then begin to stretch in this position. So we're going to stretch for 5 breaths, both on inhale and exhale. And as you stretch, you're using a lot of muscles and you're doing a lot in your body. See if you can notice some of those things. Maybe you notice the weight-bearing parts of the body have shifted now. It really is the back of the hips and the shoulders. The lower back is probably arching away from the floor now and not touching it. And as you breathe and stretch, you're using quite a lot of muscles, so you need a little bit more breath, a little bit more energy, so maybe your breathing rate has gone up slightly. And then on the next inhale, we're going to take the arms back up into the air, and again, just relax the shoulders, and then turn the palms and exhale the palms down beside the body. And we're going to try to allow our body to completely relax for 3 breaths. Ocean breath, inhale. Ocean breath, exhale, pause. And just noticing now the contrast between the very active phase of that practice and now the very soft, relaxed and released phase. Your lower back might not be quite on the floor, but it will certainly have lowered itself and released itself down towards the floor. And then we're going to bring the legs back in, bring the legs right in over the chest, take one hand on each knee, and then circling the knees wide, inhale for half a circle, and exhale, bringing the knees together and pushing away. So that breaststroke like movement with the arms. And now we are really receiving information from the hips, which could be that your hips are quite happy with this movement, or there could be some discomfort, or the range of movement could be feeling quite restricted if the hips are stiff, or quite free if the hips are open. And we're not really bringing any critical analysis to this information. It's just about heightening mindfulness and awareness. It's not about making judgments about whether our muscles are long or short, or our joints are stiff or open. The more we know about the body, the more we sense, the more we can notice the gradual improvement as we do our practice. And then next time the knees come together, we're going to take the feet down. We're going to use the belt now for a stretch for the hamstrings. And we're going to take the right leg up into the air first. And as usual, wrap the belt once around the hands, keep the right knee bent. Take a breath in with the knee bent. And then as you exhale, stretching that right leg up towards the ceiling. So breathing in, quite a big bend in the knee, particularly if your hamstrings are tight. So you are completely slackening the muscle. So it's a lot of sensation coming from that right back of the thigh muscle. As you move into the stretch, it fires off a lot of sensory information to you. And as you inhale and it slackens off, that information stream quietens down to almost nothing. So the sensations that we're feeling in the back of the thigh as we do this stretch are sensations to do with the muscle contracting to try to resist the stretch. And that's why we're bending the knee and we're easing the muscle into this process of lengthening that we would like it to do, because slightly longer hamstrings are going to help us in everyday life and in terms of posture and the overall structural integrity of our bodies. So the next time you inhale and the knee is bent, only if you want to, you can straighten this left leg, or you can keep it bent. And we're going to come into holding the stretch one more time, but this time keeping the leg upright for 3 breaths. Keeping the head on the floor, trying to keep everything else relaxed. The hands, the shoulders, the breathing, the left leg, the back of the pelvis, pressing down onto the mat. And the right leg extending up and gradually lengthening with the breath. And then on an inhale, let the right knee bend and bring that left leg in and let the left leg take over the belt. And we're doing the same thing again. Inhale, left knee bent. Exhale, straighten. So do the same mental process of noticing the sensations in the back of this left leg as you breathe and stretch. And it's really common for one hamstring to be a little bit tighter than the other. And in fact, what this tends to do is then slightly throw off the hips. So lots of us don't have completely level hips. So you can imagine if you're a footballer and you're just right-footed, and all you do is kick the ball with your right foot, that is going to affect the length and bulk of the leg muscles. So we're not symmetrical beings, and that is actually fine. We can cope with these minor imbalances, but it's good to notice them. And if you do have a hamstring on one leg that feels a little bit shorter than the other, then having that information and noticing that sensation could be really useful in terms of just doing a little bit more stretching on your tight side than on your longer side to move the body back towards balance. So we're going to hold the stretch now. Right leg can remain bent, or you can straighten that leg. 3 breaths. Now you'll be getting a lot of information back from that left hamstring, and we want to just find a sustainable way of stretching it. So if there's too much information and it's interrupting the breath or the leg is shaking, you just back out of the stretch slightly by softening the knee and doing a micro bend in the knee, or bringing the leg a little bit further away from the body. That's great. And then on the next inhale, bending the left leg, removing the belt, bringing both knees back in over the chest, taking a little rock from side to side. And then the last practice we're going to do before we come on to our fronts is a little bit of just rocking the pelvis and then moving into a gentle back bend. So we'll start with the hands on the abdomen, and on your next long exhale, just think about finishing that exhale by drawing in this area of the body and feeling the lower back being pressed down to the mat and the floor. So noticing the sensation there. When you breathe in, try to breathe a little bit more up into the chest this time, so this tummy area doesn't move on the inhale. And then exhaling, long exhale, draw the abdominal muscles in, feel the lower back flat on the floor. Now we've got that, we can place the hands on the mat, and on the next inhale, keeping the tummy in, still breathing into the chest, press into the feet, push into the shoulders, and lift the pelvis about 2 inches off the mat, and then tuck to roll down. So let the top of the pelvis touch the mat and then roll down to the tailbone end of the pelvis. Keep the tummy in, breathe in, maybe a little bit higher, 4 inches up, and exhale, tuck and roll down. So we're feeling that we're mobilizing the spine on the exhale, and we're lifting the spine on the inhale. Each time you breathe in, coming a little bit higher until you reach that perfect spot for you. As we come up, any more higher than the lower back, we just need to take anything away from under the back of the head. That's in case some of you are coming right up really high, and we don't want to increase the angle on the neck here. I should have got you to take that out just before we started, but this is fine. So noticing the sensations in the spine, and noticing now how you're moving up the spine. And as we do our last couple, you might be feeling that you're able to lift right up to just below the shoulder blades, right up towards the top of the thoracic spine, and you've got a long roll down. And each vertebra, as they come down one at a time, noticing how each of them feel. And the visual image there is almost like you're laying a string of pearls down onto a mat. What you don't want to feel is that those vertebrae are all stuck together. So the last one, roll the spine down, and then draw the knees in and rock from side to side. So we'll turn over now, and we'll come onto all fours, and we'll use a blanket to pad the knees. So although in class some people are practicing in a chair and some on a mat, there's no reason why you can't use the chair as a prop. So if you are somebody who has any wrist or shoulder issues, feel free to do the cat that we're going to do now with your forearms resting on the chair. Everybody still needs their knees padded with the blanket. The hands are in front of the shoulders to lessen the angle on the wrist, and just beginning to come into your cat movement. So all these practices are cumulative, they're linked to each other. Notice, if you remember, the sensation just had of laying the spine back down on the mat as you exhaled, and now we've got in the cat a similar sensation and experience of mobilizing all the vertebrae of the spine, but this time in a much more whole spine, undulating movement. So notice what you sense here, and you may be feeling that some parts of the spine are more mobile than the others. That's really common. We've spoken about this before. So your cat could be doing too much in the lower back and the neck and not enough in the mid back. So we'll try and contain the movement in the neck and the lower back, so it becomes a bit more of an even undulation along the whole of the length of the spine. And then we're going to take a little resting pose from the cat. So if it's comfortable for you, sitting the hips back towards the heels, making a pillow with the hands, resting the forehead down. And then we're going to do one strengthening practice today. So if you want to remain completely on the floor, you're going to be on your front with the arms, hands in front of the shoulders and quite a little way away from the body. And then as you breathe in, lifting the chest away from the floor, and as you breathe out, lowering the chest down. And remembering the hands are playing a very small role there. Try not to use the arms too much. You might need to use them a bit if your back is not as strong as it could be. And again, you can do this from a chair. I'm just showing you that option. If you have any discomfort from lying on the front, you have the forearms on the chair and you use your back muscles to arch the back and lift the elbows on inhale and lower on exhale. And then the next time you exhale and lower down, push into the hands and knees, come back into the resting pose. And then breathing in, just coming back up to cat or using the chair. And we're going to extend a leg away. So sometimes we do a practice where we lift the leg to strengthen the glute. Instead of doing that this week, we're going to do a little bit of work on the toes. So as we stretch the right leg away, the toes are tucked under, as you can see. And I'm just going to rotate the heel from side to side, a bit like a windscreen wiper. Keep the leg straight as you do this. That will keep the knee happy, because we want the whole of the leg to rotate, and that's going to do a little bit of work into the hips. It does mean that you are taking more weight onto the single knee now, the left knee, and that's why you need the padding, and you might need a little bit more padding here. And then come back, and this time we'll do a little bit of rolling forwards and backwards, so you can bend and straighten the leg and just roll over the toes. And then let's do that on the other side. Stretch the leg out, leg is straight, toes are tucked under, and rotating the heel. It's really important to keep the feet mobile and to notice the sensations there. So if you notice the joints and muscles of the feet becoming stiff and tight, it's something you want to address, because that does lead eventually to some quite severe impacts on our ability to walk and balance as we get older. So now we're going forwards and backwards over those toes. So if you were to carry on with that and you're comfortable in kneeling, in your own practice, you might find that you could come up to high kneeling and do a little bit here, which is slightly more demanding. And even more demanding would be to sit the whole of the weight of the body back onto the heels with the toes tucked under. So that's a big stretch for the toes and for the soles of the feet. And it could be really uncomfortable for some of you if you've got any arthritis going on in the feet, or if you've got tightness there. But you may find that they will free up quite rapidly. It's one of the areas of the body which, if you've been neglecting, which lots of us do, because we just stick our foot in a shoe and forget about it for 6 months of the year, and then they come out in sandals in the summer. So there's opportunities there to reverse that stiffness and really rediscover a lot of foot flexibility, and that will change everything in your posture and your gait. G-A-I-T, not your G-A-T-E. Okay, so we are going to move on now and just come into our standing section. Be fairly short today. So we're going to do a sun salutation. Even though you're standing, I'm going to demonstrate it from the chair so that my head and arms don't disappear. So palms are together, and then breathing in, bring the arms up into the air, palms facing forward, draw the shoulders back, and then exhale, bend your knees as you fold forward, place the hands on the thighs and bring the spine halfway down. Inhale, flatten the back, and if you can, hover the hands off the thighs. And then exhale, folding forward. So if you're standing, you could straighten the legs there and take more of a stretch into the back of the legs, if it's safe for you to take your head below the heart. Bend the knees, flatten the back, and inhale, come all the way up, palms facing forwards. And exhale, bring the palms together. Inhale, take the hands up, and exhale, sway to your right. Ocean breath. Exhale, pause. Inhale, come to center. Exhale. Inhale, raise the arms up through the center, and exhale, side stretch to the other side. Notice what you sense in your body as you do that. Exhale, back to the heart. So one more sun salutation, breathing in, open the palms. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale, flatten the back, hover the palms. Exhale, deeper fold forward, a little bit of hamstring stretch. Inhale, flatten the back, coming up. Draw the elbows back. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, sway to the side. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, back to center. Well done. Release the arms. Just pause for a moment. Notice what you sense in your body. A little bit different when we do a dynamic sequence like that in terms of creating some more cardiovascular demands. And then taking the hands onto the back of the chair if you need it. You may not need it. Step the left leg back, have the right leg forwards. Just check as you bend that right knee and come into a lunge that the knee isn't going beyond the ankle. If that's the case, take the foot forwards. And as you bend the knee, you should be feeling an enhanced stretch through the back of that left leg. So holding the chair or not holding the chair, straightening the leg, breathing in, lunge the knee, open the palms, breathing out, straighten the leg, close the palms, breathing in, breathing out. Notice the sensations in the body, particularly the back of the straight left leg and the lengthening sensation at the top of that left thigh. Notice the sensations in the right knee. There should be no discomfort there, just a sense of the knee moving intelligently in and out of the lunge and the muscles around the joint working and strengthening. And then step the legs back, just give the legs a little shake, and then we're going to change legs. Right leg back, left leg forward, just checking that lunge position again, using the chair or not using the chair, legs straight, breathing in, breathing out. Maybe just shifting the focus to the shoulders for a moment as you do this, the upper back, noticing the sensations of the touch of the palms. And then checking in with that right leg as well. Stretch through the calf and the Achilles. The lengthening through the front of the left thigh and hip. And the strength work that you're doing in the left knee. Just two more in your own time. Inhale, ocean breath. Long exhale, pause. Inhale and exhale, pause. And then stepping back and giving the legs a little shake. So we're our last pose before coming down to our inversion and then relaxation is going to be balance. So we're going to do a version of the tree this week. It's really good to have the chair there, even if you end up not needing it, but it's like a little insurance policy. But feel free to start with the hand on the chair if you have any doubts about your balance. So we're going to soften I'm softening the right knee because that's the one away from the chair. And then just opening the right hip slightly. And we're going to keep this position. So just the toes are touching the mat, that the heel is lifted and the hip is open. So the other arm extends out, palm facing up, and the shoulder hasn't risen up, it's dropping down, the elbow is soft, the heart is open. So from here, if the balance is feeling good, you could raise the other arm, and we'll hold this for up to 3 breaths. Inhale, ocean breath, exhale, pause. And at the end of the next exhale, bring the hand down onto the chair, turning the palm, lower the other arm, bring the knee back in and take the leg down and give the legs a little shake. So you could turn around. I won't do that because I'll have my back to you, or you could move the chair around. So now we're going to bend the other leg, me the left leg, open the hip, take the arm up into the air and begin our tree balance here, either holding the chair or raising the arm. Inhale, ocean breath. Exhale, pause. Inhale. Exhale, pause. One more breath. And on this exhale, releasing the hand down, releasing the other arm down, turning the knee in, release the shoulders, release the hands. And making your way down onto the floor in our usual supported inverted position. So the legs on the chair, a yoga block under the hips if you have one, that's not vital. A cushion or blanket under the head. And let yourself settle here. It's a relaxing and restorative inversion, but there are some new sensations here to notice. So you have the slight sensation of the body being in the unusual direction of having the legs and the hips and the abdomen all slightly higher than the heart. So just notice if you can feel that sensation of inversion. And then maybe not feeling it, but sensing it, that with the legs raised like this, it is automatically relaxing your circulatory system. So normally your heart has to work quite hard to pump blood back up from the legs when you're standing upright. A lot of gravitational pressure to overcome their gravitational force. And when we raise the legs, that venous return of the blood can happen more easily. And when the blood is pumped out from the heart, it goes through very strong muscle-lined arteries, but when it returns to the heart, it comes through veins, which are much more delicate structures with valves in, and the pressure in them is much lower than in the arteries. So this little bit of help gives this feeling of relaxation, of reversing the normal gravitational forces on the body. So just sensing whatever is a truth for you around this pose. And then we're just going to take 1 or 2 more breaths here. And as I've been saying in recent weeks, if you find this pose really comfortable, you can carry on in the relaxation in this pose. However, if you'd rather release the legs off the chest, off the chair, if you'd rather have the legs straight or semi-supine or any other position for your relaxation, please feel free to come into that. So we're going to do a short relaxation now, themed on sensations in the body. And you don't need to move your body for this. You'll just be directing your awareness to different parts of the body and trying to focus on what it is that you can feel there. And it might just be something as simple as the touch of that part of the body on the floor, or it might be something more complex that is individual to you, that is going on in your body. So in your comfortable, relaxed position, with the eyes closed or a soft gaze up to the ceiling if you'd rather not close your eyes, and with a steady breath, take your awareness to the right foot. Notice how the right foot is resting on the mat, and notice all the sensations in the right foot. Move your awareness up to the right shin and calf, and notice all the sensations there. Awareness to the right knee. What do you feel in the right knee? Awareness to the right thigh and everything you can sense in your right thigh. Notice the whole of the right leg. Notice the way the leg is released and touching the floor. And as you exhale, give the right leg permission to completely relax. Awareness to the left foot. Notice all the sensations in the left foot, how the left foot is in contact with the floor. Awareness to the left shin and calf, and noticing the sensations in the left shin and calf. The left knee, sensations there. The left thigh, sensations in the left thigh. Notice the sensations in the whole of your left leg. Notice how the left leg is in contact with the floor. And as you exhale, relax the whole of the left leg. Bring your awareness to the hips and notice how significant part of the weight of the body is being held by the back of the pelvis as it connects down to the floor. Notice all the sensations in your pelvis, and as you exhale, allow your pelvis to relax. Take your awareness to the lower back. Notice the sensations there. The lower back will be comfortable. It may be slightly arched away from the floor, but that is its natural position. Notice all the sensations in your lower back. And as you exhale, relax the lower back down to the floor. Awareness to the upper chest, front of the rib cage, the sides of the rib cage, the back of the rib cage. Notice how this structure of the upper back is resting against the floor. And again, taking a lot of our weight, we can feel the pressing down of the back of the upper part of the body, pressing into the floor. Notice all the sensations in your chest, the way the ribs may move as you breathe. You might even sense the heart beating in your chest. Notice all sensations in the chest. And as you exhale, allow the chest to relax. Awareness to the right hand. Notice the sensations there. The right forearm, the right elbow, the right upper arm, and notice all the sensations in the right shoulder. Notice how the whole of the right arm and right shoulder is connecting down to the mat. And as you exhale, relax the right arm and right shoulder. Awareness to the left hand, left forearm, left elbow, left upper arm, and notice the sensations in the left shoulder. Notice how the whole of the left arm and left shoulder is resting on the floor, and as you exhale, allow the left arm and left shoulder to relax. Awareness to the neck, the back of the head, the sides of the head, the crown of the head and the face. Notice the contact point between the back of the head and the mat, supporting the considerable weight of the head on the floor. Notice all the sensations in the neck, the head and the face. And as you exhale, allow the neck, the head and the face to relax. Finally, notice all the sensations in the whole of your body. Notice all the points of contact with the ground. As you breathe in, feel as if you're breathing into the whole of your body. And as you breathe out, allow the whole of your body to relax. And allow yourself to hold the sum total of all the sensations in your body, in your awareness, right here, right now. And now let your breath deepen, move the fingers, wriggle the toes, stretch into your arms and your legs in any way that feels good. Bend your knees, roll onto your left side if possible, or right side is fine as well. And then make your way back up to sitting. You can sit cross-legged on the mat if you prefer, or come back into your chair. And we're going to close this class with a final reconnection with the breath practice for this week. So if you're in a chair, feet flat on the floor. Otherwise, if you're sitting on the mat, main thing is to ensure the spine is upright and comfortable and the head is balanced on top of the spine and not forwards. Close your eyes or have a soft gaze forwards and down. Tune into your breath. Tune into your ocean breath. Smooth, comfortable fullness of inhale and long exhale and pause. Inhale, exhale, pause. Inhale, exhale, pause. Do 3 more breaths in your own time. And at the end of that 3rd breath, just keep the eyes closed for a moment longer. Notice exactly how you feel in your body, your breath, your mind. Just notice whether there is any kind of sense of heightened awareness and sensation about what you have felt in your body during the class, what you feel now. And trying to make this the focus of your practice for the coming week, whenever you are doing postures or breathing, whatever you're doing, just having that additional focus on what it is that you sense in your body as you practice. Don't forget, you've got the patient manuals, you've got the videos on the Yoga and Healthcare Alliance website, and you'll have the YouTube video of this class if you want to repeat any of the weeks again as part of your home practice. Thank you very much.